on helping others, on avoiding government aid in her houses of hospitality impressed me, and she became a huge voice for social justice in the nation.
Who else?
Heroes, personal heroes. Father Keith Kenny was a priest of our diocese who was a friend of Cesar Chavez. Through him, I met Cesar Chavez. I did some writing with him. We visited Central America during the Reagan era. I did some writing. He's a hero of mine because he was so involved with the Spanish speaking and so totally committed to social justice and was fearless. He didn't mind incurring.
He wasn't afraid of a cordon of police.
He wasn't afraid of incurring the wrath of bishops.
Which is scarier than police?
Well, it could be.
How can we help someone who comes from a family who doesn't have spectacular parents, who has normal or less than average parents, to see the value in service such that they become a servant leader like you and Sister Libby are?
Well, I think you have to go around with your eyes open, your ears open. I mean, you learn from life and from the people you meet. In my case, my parents weren't exceptional people, but they were people who had great faith, great simplicity, and in their own way lived out their marriage as best they could. They had their conflicts. As kids, we remember that. I had my conflicts with my dad, as very often fathers and sons do. But I would say, from my mother, I learned compassion for the poor. She was huge at giving help at the door to the poor. But if you don't have parents who wake you up to that, others will, whom you meet along the way. I mean, you have to be just open and allow yourself to be influenced by others.
Maybe you have to be careful about who it is you allow to influence you.
Well, yes.
Pick the right hero.
Of course, right. Not to be influenced by the wrong peer group.
If you knew that you could not fail, if I were able to issue you an ironclad 100% guarantee of success in your next endeavor, what would you undertake?
To write a book
about
the Mexican martyrs.
Okay. Okay.
I had plans to do that. It's now been put on hold because of my present job. It's so busy. I would like to get back to it. I just love writing. It's a self-expression for me. Writing for me is recreation. When I sit down to write, I can spend 3 hours and it's like a half an hour. I get totally absorbed.
Let's pretend for a moment that all of humanity, all 7 billion of us, are going to watch this interview. What would you say to us?
I would say to you that the first and most important thing to know is that God loves you. That God loves you. That if you take the person who loves you most and multiply that by 1,000,000, that still doesn't equal to how much God loves you and loves each individual person. That God is a loving God, the creator of the universe, and despite the awesome creation that he created, those galaxies out there, he still has a personal, individual interest in you. The creator of those galaxies, millions of them.
Let's pretend for a moment that I am able to grant you any superpower that you request. Could be one that you read in the comic books, or one that you invent right now on the spot. What superpower would you request of me?
The power to eliminate war, and to have more peace, to have understanding among humanity, among religious people. We have the Christians now, and the whole Islamic thing coming, the tension rising. We have other tensions, national tensions, the narrow-mindedness that causes that. To be able to bring peace to the world. It's interesting when you talk to the astronomers who talk about, is there life on other planets? And then when they say, what would that life think of us? What the astronomers, the scientists all say is that whoever they are out there, those people, they're probably more advanced than we are. They wouldn't want to come here. We're so screwed up with our wars, our famine, our poverty, injustice, man's inhumanity to man. They wouldn't want to come here. What haunts me a lot is the fact that we are a broken people, a broken nature. Human beings are. Look at the front page of the newspaper any day.
Every day. Any newspaper, every day.
Any newspaper, the world. we're screwed up as a human race. We're screwed up.
What's your favorite movie?
My favorite movie. Oh my gosh. I have, the ones when you're young, that you see when you're young, leave a deeper impression on you. Dr. Zhivago, The Sound of Music, romantic of course. This is an in-house one for us Catholics, The Man for All Seasons. It's the story of Thomas More, who was Chancellor of England under Henry VIII, but lost his head. He was beheaded for standing on his principle. It's a play that was been adapted to a movie. Also Gandhi, marvelous movie. I've seen it a couple of times.
Spectacular.
It's a spectacular movie, incredible. I do feel very strongly that life is a journey, and we slowly open ourselves to that level of kindness and generosity. But it's a struggle. We're struggling against our own egos, our own insecurities, our own hang-ups. But life is a journey, and hopefully we're growing along the way, step by painful step. Another movie recently that I enjoyed was it's called The Way. It's about the famous pilgrimage in Spain, the Camino, that goes to Santiago de Compostela. That's a movie about the fact that the pilgrimage is an interior journey. There's an external journey, you walk for 100 miles and live in hostels every night, but the interior journey is the important one.
Thank you so much for taking the time to meet with
Thank
me.
you. I'm privileged that you would do this, or bother to do it. I'm privileged that Sister Libby, whom I hugely admire,